Then I let me in the door. Then I gave your boy a chance, now the youngin' finna blow. It's a shame finna put the game in the figure four. Youngin' fresh from out that bottom.
Oh, welcome back to my channel. Before we get into it, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, man. You ain't gotta comment, but I do appreciate it if you hit the sub and if you're new. Now, in this video, I'll be talking about Attack on Titan, but in particular, this is my review for Attack on Titan No Requiem Part 2. Oh my gosh. When I tell you that I had chills this whole entire time that I was reading this chapter, like, I still have chills. And I'm not gonna lie, it's been a minute since I had this feeling about Attack on Titan. It's been a minute. The only thing that gives me this type of feeling is my Attack on Titan theories. Now, what made this chapter so great, and it's not the Eren and Historia conversation, it's part of it, but it's not that. It's Eren and Armin's conversation. The conversation that they had in chapter 139 was supposed to be just like the conversation that they have in Attack on Titan No Requiem Part 2. One of the things that I really hate that Isayama had did for the ending to Attack on Titan is, for some reason, Armin, who if not the smartest character in Attack on Titan, then one of the smartest characters in Attack on Titan, the same person who had little to no information but was still able to figure out that Annie was the female Titan, the same person who was able to figure out that Reiner was hiding inside the walls, the same person who came up with a plan to defeat Bertolt without getting anybody killed. Armin was able to figure all that out, but he can't seem to understand Eren and what he's doing. And then when it gets to the point where he needs to truly understand Eren, he did not only just kept bringing up Mikasa's feelings, he hit him. And then Isayama makes Armin go against everything that he stands for. He make him literally go against what his character was being built up on because of Eren's death, by making Armin say thank you to Eren for killing innocent fucking people. At that point, Armin had became wishy-washy. Like, motherfucker, what do you believe in? That's like me making all these story videos about the anime having its own original ending, which is something that I truly believe, and then I come out of nowhere making a video saying that the anime won't have its own original ending. That's gonna make y'all question me. Probably not, but it definitely make us question Armin's character. All because of him saying thank you to Eren for killing innocent people. Like, Armin, do you think that what Eren had did was okay because it benefited you? Because if you think that, then stand by that shit. Don't be wishy-washy and go switching sides, because if you do that, it's not going to only make you look stupid, it's going to make it seem like everything that you said in the past and everything that you stood for seem like a fucking lie. Characters like Flock, Historia, those are characters who believed in what the fuck they stood for all the way until the end. And that is what we seen in this second chapter for Attack on Titan No Requiem Part 2. Two characters who truly know who they are. Two characters who truly believe in what they stand for and believe that the shit that they stand for is the right way and the things that that other person stand for is the wrong way. Both Armin and Eren won't backtrack on what they stand for, even if the shit that that other person stands for is right in some ways. Armin does not care that Eren is trying to achieve freedom. All that he cares about is that Eren is killing innocent people in order to achieve that freedom. People who don't even have shit to do with Eldian and Marleyans. Nothing at all. And Eren cannot fuck with the way how Armin cannot abandon his humanity in order to fight for his survival, even if it meant killing innocent people and kids. Especially if those people was already on their way to come kill you, or won't even give you a chance to make them understand you because they only look at you as devils and that's it. You might get a few people who are willing to call you by your name, but that's not enough. That's not a fucking enough. Them bitches gotta go. And I love the way how they capture that. I love the way how they made both characters stay true to themselves and stay true to what they believe in. And I'm gonna keep it all the way 100. This is something that Isayama failed. Well, I wouldn't say fail, but this is something that Isayama did not do. I wish that he did do this, because if he did, then you wouldn't have people having mixed feelings about Eren's character and saying that, oh, he's retconning Eren, or Isayama is contradicting his own writing, or personally me saying that Isayama made Eren seem like a big, not seem, be a big ass fucking liar. You got the whole entire Eldian race that live on Paradise Island believing in him. His studio believed in him. Flock believed in him. He died believing in this motherfucker. Eren died believing in Eren. And the whole time, this bitch is lying. And I fuck with Eren. Eren is my favorite character, but all that I wanted Isayama to do is to make him stay true to what he believes in. I didn't care about him being no fucking Chad Aaron. I didn't even know what that shit meant. All that I wanted him to do is stay true to what he believed in. I didn't care about him being heartless. Like, that shit was cool. I wanted him to stay true to what he said to the story about ending the cycle of hatred with the rumbling. That's what the fuck I wanted to see. Me saying all of that, the chapter starts off right where the first part left off. We see Kid Aaron talking to Armin about the outside world that he has seen, and how the outside world that he has seen was just like how it was described to be in Armin's book, and that everything that Armin has said was right. Then he goes to ask Armin if he would help too. Now, the reason why Kid Aaron asks Armin that question is because Kid Aaron still believes that Armin and him still have the same dream. Once Armin had reached the ocean, that is where his dream ended. That's why he had the seashell in his hand. But for Aaron, it's different. He kept on dreaming. Once he had seen one thing, he wanted to see more shit. So he kept moving forward, never looking back, until he laid his eyes on freedom. So he thinks that Armin also wants to see this freedom, because they both had the same dream. Or he thinks that they both had the same dream. But then Kid Aaron goes to say that if we destroy all our enemies, then we'll be the freest people in the world, which is true. But this goes back to what I said in my prediction video and my review for part 1. Kid Aaron doesn't really know what adult Aaron is doing. When Kid Aaron says if we destroy all our enemies, he actually means if we destroy all our enemies. But for adult Aaron, he's not only killing his enemies, but he's killing innocent people who can potentially become his enemy in the future. Then Kid Aaron goes to say to Armin that him, Mikasa, and Armin can get whatever they want. And if you just look at the expression that Armin gives, it just tells us that Armin truly does want this freedom that Aaron is trying to achieve for him, but because of who he is and because of his nature and because of what he stands for, he just cannot accept the way how Aaron wants to do things. Armin knows that he can never be happy with this freedom that Aaron is trying to achieve for him. So he has no choice but to go against him, because if he does not, then he wouldn't be who the fuck he is. Then Armin goes to explain to Aaron that what he's doing is wrong, and then Aaron says to Armin that he had changed. And the reason why Aaron has said this is because back in season 1, Aaron was actually who the fuck Armin is. Just like Armin, Aaron also knew that Annie was the female Titan, but he still did not want to fight her. He wanted to talk to her. But when Armin had reminded Aaron to abandon his humanity and to fight fire with fire, he let go, and he no longer cared about what was right or what was wrong. All that Aaron knew was that he had no other choice but to fight her. And basically, Aaron is doing the same thing with the rumbling, fighting fire with fire. But because of the fact that he's doing it on the biggest scale and he's applying that pressure, now motherfuckers want to change up. So when he says to Armin that, hey, you changed, that is what the fuck he means. Like, motherfucker, are you forgetting that you're the one that told me to do this shit when I didn't really want to? When I didn't want to fight the bitch, you told me to fight her. But after that, Aaron then goes to say to Armin, what's the difference between our homes and their homes? And then Armin goes to explain to Aaron that it's no difference. We're all the same. If you just take away the titles and the history, there is no difference at all. And Armin is right. But what he fails to realize and what he fails to understand is that he is the only one that believes that some type of peace and understanding can be made with the Eldians that live on Paradise Island and the people that live outside the walls. Those same people who has always hated them just because they're born into a race. And those same people that Armin had chose to save over his own fucking people does not think the same way that Armin thinks. They don't care to try to find some type of peace and understanding with each other. Motherfucker, we are scared of you. We're threatened by you. To make sure that nothing like this happens ever again, we're gonna kill every Eldian that live on Paradise Island. We're not trying to make peace with you. Some of us do, but not all of it. I really do understand Armin's side, but Armin need to wake the fuck up. I don't care what anybody says. Peace does not always work, to the point where it damn near don't work. Peace leads to temporary results, or leads to no results, or leads to results that take too fucking long. Too long to the point where by the time it comes, it's already too fucking late. It's too late. Just look at the world that we live in now. Or just look at Paradise Island getting destroyed. Me, I'm not being a Armin. I'm not asking anybody to understand me. I'm not asking anybody to feel sorry for me. And I'm damn sure not asking anybody to respect me. Bitches either respect me or else I'm taking that shit. Armin is doing the opposite. He's basically asking the enemy to respect me and to understand me and to feel sorry for me. No, we will not be doing all of that, but we are going to kill you though, because we're threatened by you. Look at what the fuck you can do. You're destroying the world. We can never let this happen ever again, so we're killing you. Armin needs to wake the fuck up, like for real. This shit is real and he's not built for this. He's not able to see the bigger picture because all that he sees is that Eren is killing innocent people. He is not able to see that Eren is too far deep into this, to the point where if he were to stop at any moment, all that he would be doing is giving them a valid reason to hate them. And Armin cannot see that, and I think it's because of his nature, because of who he is. Of course he can't see the bigger picture. The motherfucker has never been a fighter, so you will never understand what I am doing. You will never understand it. All that Armin does understand is that Eren is killing innocent people. For some reason, Armin had forgot that at one point he was those same innocent people, and they still did not give a fuck about what they was doing to the audience that lived on Paradise Island. They did not care. So why should I care? If I start caring now, then we're all gonna die. It's either us or them. Pick a fucking side. And in chapter 139, Armin ended up picking their side instead of picking his own people's side. And what did that lead to? The destruction of Paradise Island. And everything ended up being for nothing. After all of that, Armin goes to grab Eren. And when he goes to grab Eren, he connects to Eren. And he is able to see all of Eren's memories. Now, the reason why he's able to see Eren's memories is because when two Eldians or two Titan Shifters who are very connected to each other, sometimes when they make contact with each other, they're able to see each other's memories. You see this happen when Eren had made contact with Ymir. You see this happen when Historia had touched Ymir's letter. And you also see this happen when Reiner had made contact with Gilead. Now, with Armin seeing Eren's memories, this is his chance to actually understand Eren and understand why he feel like he has no other choice but to kill innocent people. So we see Eren, Historia, and Hanji talking about how they have no other option but to go through with Zeke's plan, sacrificing Historia and doing a small rumbling. Hanji then says that she wanted to have an advantage for once. Ever since the death of Erwin, everything has become so complicated for her, and that she is not able to do the same thing that Erwin was able to do. Hanji is not able to understand how Erwin made everything look so easy and how he kept everything under control. And because of who Hanji is, her nature, and the way how she thinks, once she had took Erwin's spot as the commander, everything that Erwin had under control started to get out of control. Too out of control to the point where it could never be put back in place. And if she tried to put those things back in place, she would fail badly because she is not Erwin. She's not like Erwin. Like, the bitch get horny off Titans. Like, we can't let you lead. Like, we don't even take you seriously. Why would we listen to you? Hanji is the reason why the Jaegers was formed. Hanji is the reason why Eren is acting out on his own. All this shit is because of fucking Hanji. She is the reason why Eren is fighting his friend. John was okay with Eren destroying the world, but Hanji convinced him into thinking that what Eren was doing was completely wrong, even if it benefited him. If Erwin was still alive, everything would still be under control. Eren would have never acted out on his own. The Jaegers would have never been formed. Conflict amongst each other would have never fucking happened because they all would have been together. I'm pretty sure if Erwin can convince motherfuckers to give up on their dreams and die and devote their hearts to the mission, I'm pretty sure that he can convince people into thinking that what Eren is doing was the only fucking way. I hate when people say that Erwin would have never helped Eren. You don't know Erwin then. Why do you think Flock worshiped Eren so much? It's because he did what Armin and Hanji failed to do. He became like Erwin. He became a devil. He became somebody that people wants to follow. Like I said, who the fuck wants to follow somebody who gets horny off Titans? I know that I'm not following her. We're gonna die following her ass. And look what happened in Attack on Titan manga chapter 139 extra pages. Paradise Island gets destroyed. All this shit is because of her. But after that, Historia then goes to say that we still have hope because of what the first King of the Walls did by taking everybody's memories and starting over, and then allowing the people that live in Paradise Island to develop slowly, but just enough to be able to fight against the Titans, but not enough to be able to win against the Titans and actually achieve something. They was basically running around like headless chickens, not knowing anything. But you had some of those headless chickens, Eren, Mikasa, Historia, Erwin, Levi, Hanji, all of them came together and they figured out a way to make their own path. And soon enough, they was able to get past every obstacle with little to no information. and also with nobody help. So why the fuck do we need people help now? Let's come up with our own plan, which is something that Hanji and Armin failed to do, which also leads to Eren acting out and the Jaegers being formed and Paradise Island getting destroyed. But after that, we see Eren and Historia on the farm, and they're looking out at the kids that Historia had put in the orphanage who had came from the underground city. And with Historia seeing how happy she made these kids by giving them a new life, a life where they can actually be happy and where they feel free, she said that she wants the same thing for her children. But because of them having no choice but to go with Zeke's plan, her choice on who she wants to be the father of her children is stripped from her. And she said that would she be selfish if she were to take that choice back? And Eren says no, because you're the same worst girl that saved me. Eren has seen Historia take her life back with his own eyes. Instead of making a choice just because she wanted somebody to like her and acknowledge her, which in this case would be her father, instead she had made a choice to take her life back, not caring if it made people like her or acknowledge her, which is all that fucking matters. After that, we get to the second best conversation in this part 2, in my opinion, and that is Flock and Eren's conversation. Now, they did something that Isayama didn't do. Maybe he didn't feel like he needed to do this, or maybe he wasn't really thinking to do this at all. And it's not a big thing, but I wish Isayama would have did this, because in Isayama's version, he made Flock too loyal to Eren too quick, especially after Flock had called Eren out for letting his feelings get in the way of seeing the bigger picture. But in this version, you see Flock call Eren out. He's like, wait, why the fuck would I follow you? And you couldn't even see the bigger picture to sacrifice Armin for Erwin, somebody who we need, a devil, to make sure that our survival is certain. Why the fuck would I follow you and you can do that? And if I were to follow you and Armin gets in our way, I know that you're not going to kill him to make sure that our survival is certain. So motherfucker, I'm not following you. But what convinces Flock to follow Eren is because of what Eren says. He says to Flock that even he understands that there is too much at stake. And the reason why he hasn't told anybody but Flock is because the people that is around him will not do what is necessary when that time comes. We have a bunch of people that is around us that wants to make peace with people that hate us just because we were born Eldians that were born on Paradise Island. The enemy who will never see us in a new light. They only see us as devils who could become fucking titans. It's only a few people that's left who knows that it's either us or them. Now Eren understands the path that he's going down. He knows while walking down this path, he cannot look for any signs of forgiveness at all. He cannot feel sorry. He could do all that in the beginning, and he could do that shit at the end. But while walking down this path, while doing what he does, he cannot feel sorry, because if he does, then he will not complete his mission. His feelings are going to get in the way, and he is not going to be able to do what is necessary. Now, in Isayama's version, Eren does say sorry to Ramsey. He does look for forgiveness. But you have to understand that at that point in time, Eren was in a different mindset. He was confused about himself because he know who he used to be and he know who he is at that moment, but he also know who he will become. And he feels conflicted. He's looking for any moment, any inch of moment for him to be able to run away from his responsibilities. But once he goes to that meeting and he sees all that hatred being pushed on toward the Eldians that live on Paradise Island, that was his last straw. At first, I wanted to run away. But now I want to fucking fight. I have no choice but to fight, because if I don't fight, then who will? And just like how he said sorry to Ramsey, he then turns around and kill a bunch of people, including kids, without batting an eye. Now, deep down, he probably feel bad for what he did, but he cannot show that shit. And if he does, he can only show it for so little. Because if he allows his feelings to get in the way, then he's going to fail. He's not going to be able to do what is necessary in order to complete his mission. So therefore, I cannot act like I'm looking for forgiveness. I cannot act like I'm sorry. And that is technically what Eren did for the ending to Attack on Titan. He knew that he would never be forgiven for what he did. And in order to run away from his responsibilities and his sins, he allowed himself to be killed. He had opened the door for his friends to achieve this peace, but he left that motherfucker open for his sins to also go in that same door, which led to Paradise Island getting destroyed. He just cannot sacrifice his friend, which is why we see Flock call Eren out like, wait a minute, why would I follow follow you, and you can't even put your feelings to the side and kill Armin in order to save Irvin. But after that, we see Historia hit Eren and break down in tears. She don't like the fact that Eren is walking down this path alone, but not only that, he intends on throwing his life away, not caring about the people that he will leave behind. Historia then say that she cannot feel that way ever again. When Ymir had left Historia, she left a void inside of her. She felt empty inside. She was no longer this happy, nice, always smiling type of girl. She was now depressed. She was sad, and she didn't care about anybody. But when Eren said that she was normal and that he had liked this version of Historia better than the other version, it didn't just make her feel comfortable with being herself, it made her feel free. And Eren has started to fill that void that Ymir had left inside Historia. Eren was making Historia happy again when she was at her lowest point, probably the lowest point that she's ever been in her whole entire life. And she did the same thing in return for Eren. When Eren was in a very low point in his life, he didn't just witness Historia take her life back. He witnessed her pick him over saving humanity. And ever since that day, Eren and Historia had got closer and closer and closer. They was making each other happy. While on the other hand, Mikasa and Eren's relationship was growing further apart. Mikasa was making him feel useless, while Historia was making him feel useful. Now in Isayama's version, I truly feel like Eren wanted to be the father of Historia's child, and I know for a fact that Historia wanted him to be the father. She asked Eren to be the father, and he said no. And the reason why he said no is because he was already planning on allowing himself to be killed, so therefore I cannot be the father. And him doing that made her sad because he left her. He probably told her that he could only live for 4 years. Now, of course, that's a fucking lie because he's still alive inside the Titan Paths and he could just take the power of the Titans away anytime that he wants. But he left her. And he had left a void inside of her just like how Ymir did. She was sad throughout her whole entire pregnancy because she knew that Eren was going to die. Now, when Historia had her baby, just like how Eren had replaced Ymir, the baby replaced Eren. The baby was making her happy now. The baby had filled the void that Eren left. Now, after that, Armin then says to Eren that just because he's a father and that he has a child, that does not mean that what he's doing is right. And because of him doing this, all that Eren is doing is pushing his sins onto his children. Armin then says to Eren that him hiding this is just proof that he's a hypocrite. Now, first of all, Armin, I wouldn't go that far. You are the biggest hypocrite of everybody. Now, with Eren being the father, and if you were on Eren's side, this should make you understand what he is doing a little bit more. Because I am on Eren's side, and I truly understand what he is doing. I know if I had a kid and I knew that all that hate is being pushed toward the Eldians that live on Paradise Island, and I also know that the enemy is on their way to destroy my home and take my freedom, not just my freedom but my children's freedom, I know for a fact that I am doing everything in my power to prevent that from happening. And if anybody gets in my way and tries to stop me from protecting my family, then you gotta go. It's dangerous when you get in between a father or a mother and their child. That is a very dangerous place to be at. And right now, Eren's friends is between him and his child's freedom. And they gotta go. They gotta go. Eren is now in the position to sacrifice his friends. Before, Eren was doing this for them. But now that he has a baby, his baby has now replaced his friends. Armin then goes to say to Eren that if Eren would have trusted them from the very beginning, then they might have been able to figure out another way. Now, I had made a video explaining how all this could have been prevented. And in that video, I had said that all this could have been different if Eren would have just trusted his friends and allowed them to understand him way before it got bad, right? But it's not entirely Eren's fault. It's his friend's fault as well, because when they noticed that Eren was changing, and it's not like they did not notice, because Eren and Mikasa definitely knew that Eren was changing. Eren even stopped smiling. The only time that he does smile is when he look at Historia. That's the only time. Other than that, he stopped smiling a very long time ago. Why didn't they say anything back then? He was depressed, and none of them came to come and talk to him and nothing. I'm pretty sure with him at that point in time when he was conflicted, I'm pretty sure he would have said something if they would have showed that they fucking cared. The only person that was there for him was Historia. The person that he's truly in love with, Mikasa, was not there for him. The bitch killed him. And yes, Eren should have told them, but like, how do you put that you have future memories of you destroying the whole entire world and killing innocent people in words? How do you put that shit in words? The only person that he would feel comfortable telling that to is his daughter. The only person that understands him. Like, they are some horrible friends, especially Mikasa and Armin. Some horrible friends. That's why I was like, man, he's supposed to have killed them. Why do he care so much about them? Like, how can Eren kill his whole entire family? Literally, he killed his family. And you can't kill your friends? Like, what the fuck? Especially when they was never there for you at your lowest. Instead of being there for you, they went against you. Like, what the fuck? I would have killed them. But after that, Armin then realized that this conversation was really pointless. Both sides are right, and both sides made really good points, but neither of them are backing down on what they believe in. Neither of them are backing down in what they stand for. And now, knowing that talking is out of the question, Armin is now ready to abandon his humanity and kill his best friend in order to save the world. And Eren is ready to do the same thing in return in order to free Eldia and his family. This cycle will end because Eren did exactly what Eren Kruger told Grisha to do. He told him to create a family inside the walls. I truly understand both sides. I fuck with both sides, but I relate to Eren's side a little bit more. Of course, what he's doing is wrong, but you gotta do what the fuck you gotta do, man. Now, I am truly excited to see what they do for part 3. And just because I like this version does not mean that I do not like Isayama's version. Keep in mind that I was one of the first people on YouTube to actually try to understand the ending of Attack on Titan. My whole mindset going into my review for Attack on Titan Manga Chapter 139 was trying to give myself a new perspective or a better perspective on the ending, and also try to give other people a better perspective as well. Of course, I wanted things to happen differently, but it is what it is. Of course, I want an anime original ending, but I'm cool with getting Isayama's ending in the anime. I just want it to be more flushed out. Getting an anime original ending would be cool as fuck, but if it does not happen, it is what it is. I'm not going to trip that much about this shit. But yeah, I am excited to see part 3, and you know that I am going to review it, so if you're new, hit the sub button. But this is the end of the video. You ain't gotta comment, but I do appreciate it if you hit the sub button if you're new, and I'm out, bruh.